Hello, it's Jana Eubank for Hip Kit Club, and I am so excited for today's layout. Now, if you didn't know, Allison Davis, the sketch queen, creates exclusive sketches for Hip Kit Club. She's been doing this since our December kits, and I'm thrilled because this is the first time I get to play with one of the sketches as part of my design team assignments. So today I'm playing with one of the March exclusive sketches along with the March 2025 kits. I've gone ahead and picked out some papers here on my desk that I want to work with, and now I'm going to start working on this sketch. Now, the sketch I chose has a series of strips in the background, and I thought that it would be the perfect opportunity to use the stitchable eyelet border die. I haven't had a chance to use this one yet either, and so I was really excited. I love stitching, and I love the samples that are included on the product page, so I just used one of those and followed the colors and patterns that they already had on the product page and went ahead and prepared that. I also fussy cut some borders from the Giggles and Laughs pattern paper that has a bunch of eyelet lace borders on it, and now I'm going to start stacking them up on this background paper. Now, the papers that I'm using don't have any blue in them, but I love the way that my photos looked against the blue, so it's kind of going to be this fun splash of color right in the middle of the page to cause or bring attention to my photos. And so I also did include blue in the stitchable eyelet die, and that ties all the colors together. So I'm having fun layering up these pieces here. I'll go ahead and use my adhesive to get them into place. And then I'm going to flip this paper over and just use the back of the base paper to cut these borders straight with the edge. Now, I was being very careful with the stitchable borders because I didn't want to cut into the stitches that I had done and have it come unraveled. So I did overlap that a bit, and those aren't exactly straight, but I did my best. And then I did my best to make sure that all of the other lace borders there are straight. Now, I did kind of arrange where my photos were going to go ahead of time to make sure that I didn't cover too much of that stitched border, since I did spend so much time on it. In fact, on the sketch, it shows a bunch of journaling strips to the right of the main photo, but because that is where my stitched border is, I'm going to move my journaling strips to the bottom of the page just to highlight that. You know, it was so fun to create and it turned out so cute that I definitely don't want to cover up too much of that. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is to tie in more of that blue color. I'm going to match this main piece again with the piece that I have left for the blue cardstock, and that is called Courageous. So I'm just using some tools from my stash to put a 1/8 inch border around this, and then eventually at the end I will rough that up. So I'm just going to add this to the center, and then I'll be ready to start working on my title and the other elements that I'm going to put on this page. Now I'm going to bring in the glitter foam alphabets from the March kits to create my title here. And it's so hard to see on camera, but these have such a sugary, fun feel to them. All of these pieces on this glitter foam alphabet set have like a clear glitter over them, and it looks like they are like sugared candy. They're so pretty. Now I'm going to use the sweet word and this moments word to create a title that says Sweet Moments. I'm actually used my powder tool to take the powder off the back of that moments phrase so that I can move it around a little bit. And then I'm adding my sweet letters to white cardstock and then trimming around them, kind of matting them a bit. And that's just going to help them to stand out against the darker photo that I have that I'm going to overlap them onto. And then also it's going to tie into the white color of the stitched border that I did earlier. Now I'm using the T of that moments word to cover up a person in that photo. This is actually some pictures of my daughter's choir class. And of course, a kid walked in right in front of us right as we were taking this photo. So thankfully that letter T of that title is going to cover that kid right up, and you won't even know that he's there. Now, a funny thing about this photo is that this is the first choir concert that we had gone to for that year of my daughter, and we forgot to ask her where she was standing. And so we went to our normal place on the right side of the auditorium, and kind of funny, she is hiding behind the piano, like we couldn't even see her. So lesson learned, all the other concerts we sat on the other side of the auditorium so we could see her, but thankfully we did get a picture with her after the concert. All right, now I'm going over to the cardstock floral die cuts, and I'm going to put select out the purple and pink and green and like chartreuse lemon type flowers here to create a flower cluster on the left side and on the right side. Now, some of these flower die cuts have some pre-punched holes in them, and I've gone ahead and stitched them, and I love the detail that adds, and it also ties in with my stitched border, so I think that's super, super cute. Now, there were some leaves in this, and so on the right hand side I have an outline flower, and on the left hand side I used more of the solid flowers. So I kind of decided to switch up the leaves on either side. So you can see I put the solid green leaves on the right hand side and then the outline leaves on the left hand side just to balance that out. I also used the stitchable spring bloom die set to cut some additional leaves using the Grow cardstock from the February 2025 cardstock kit, which is a darker green than the March cardstock, and then that just to fill out those floral clusters there. Now, I also pulled in the mini shape puffy stickers to add little butterflies and a little beetle around these flowers just to give it a garden feel. And then on the sketch, you can see there's kind of a tab or something above the main photo. I wanted to add a tab to the very top edge of the page. So instead of doing a tab above the photo, I decided to put a couple of the smaller tag pieces that are in the Pocket Life kit. The tab also comes from the Pocket Life kit, and I love these little accent pieces. I think it's perfect. The tags were a great opportunity to bring in some thin crochet twine, which just adds a bit of softness and again ties in with those cross-stitch details on both the border and the flowers. So I think they're super cute. So I'll just kind of rearrange my butterflies there, and then I'm going to add this tab to the top of the page. Now I'm going to stamp my date here eventually, but I also wanted to add one of the little phrase pieces. And again, to repeat that puffy shaped texture, I'm going to add in a couple of these little puffy flower stems to the top of the page, and then I'll use a mini stapler to staple one of the ends. I will come back and stamp that date on off camera, as well as add my journaling strips below the title, but that completes the page. I had so much fun working with this Allison Davis sketch. It makes creating so fun, so fast, and so easy, and I'm just so grateful that we get to play with her designs and of course the beautiful hip kits. So again, this is the March 2025 kits from Hip Kit Club. These are all exclusive products only available at Hip Kit Club. They are beautiful. I hope you'll check them out. The May and June kits will be start shipping soon, and I can't wait to play with those. All right, guys, my name is Jana Eubank. We'll see you next time.